My name is Jesper Mosegaard, and today I'm going to show you how to use the Elementacular plugin for Autodesk Maya to build this magic warp kind of tunnel with some lights in it. So I started out with this scene of a couple of standard toruses. Before applying the Elementacular shader, I am going to combine the toruses into one object, so that we can work with this as a single object and apply the Elementacular shader. We'll find the Elementacular shader in the Hypershade menu. I'll apply it, and please notice that nothing actually appears yet. I need to turn on the viewport 2.0 rendering, do smooth shading and enable texturing. So this is the default appearance of the Elementacular shader. It doesn't look anything like a warp or a magic tunnel yet, so we'll change some of the parameters. The first parameter I'm going to change is the distance resolution. I'm going to turn this up just to get a narrow field around the toruses. Let's go all the way up to about 120. Also, I need to turn up the dilation layer, so the number of layers where we actually dilate out the smoke. I need to get kind of a grasp on what I'm doing here, so I'm going to introduce some lights into the scene. Just a standard point light. And I'll move it down in the tunnel with the move tool. And I will turn up the intensity somewhat to around 200. And if we look down the tunnel now, we can see that there is actually some light there. And I want this magic appearance with different colors of light, so I will create a blue light. Let's have a look at that. Yeah. And I'll create another light, a red light. Again, we have our light. I'm going to move it down into the end of our tunnel, and we'll do a nice red light, and we'll increase the intensity to 200. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so now I can actually see something, but the Elementacular plugin by default has the tone mapping operator enabled. So I'm going to disable that just to make the colors really kick through, because this is a non-realistic appearance of a magic tunnel. So now I can play around with some of the effects. And one of the things I'd like to have as a basis for what I'm doing here is I want this very narrow or very well-defined gradient between each of the toruses. So I will go down and I will experiment with the density fall-off and the density scale, just to see if I can get a bit of a narrow field around it. So density fall-off, I think I'm going to turn down a bit. And density scale, I might actually want to turn all the way up just to get some clear view of the lighting. Now it's still not really well defined, and part of what I'm seeing here is of course the noise field. So let's go down and experiment with the noise, specifically the roughness and the frequency of it. The roughness I'd like to take really far down, so to 0.5. So now we are beginning to see something that's more well defined. And also the frequency I will actually take a bit up, just to get some additional details into it. So now you can begin to see this more well-defined tunnel. But I want to experiment with some of the additional features of the plugin. If you go a bit more down, you can see what's called the wispiness. So wispiness are some additional features, so this fluffy appearance of small-scale features that you might see in clouds or other fluid-like dynamics. So I'm going to experiment with a bit with this as well. First of all, I know that I will work with some quite fine details, so I'll turn the resolution up just to capture the higher frequencies of the wispiness. By default, there is already some wispiness in this. So roughness, I'm going to turn a bit down. So I want something that's not as evident. Nothing really happens here. So let's play with the frequency. First, we want the frequency just a bit down, so that we can actually see the fluffy appearances here, like this. Now I can play around with roughness, and as you can see, I can make it really smooth, or I can turn it up just to get the right amount or the right amplitude into the wispiness of it. And this is one way of doing a magic tunnel. I can of course press the rendering button to get the final appearance. Remember to enable the Maya Hardware 2.0 rendering corresponding to viewport 2.0 rendering. And now you have this really nice magic tunnel where you can warp through. So I'm looking forward to see what you guys could do. And please visit us at elementacular.com.